Sure. So Fitsentive is completely free fitness app that features full-length, on-demand, at-home style guided workouts that are really led by guaranteed, certified expert trainers. And the best part about it is that Fitsentive's users are actually paid to work out.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Let's Move Canada. We're your hosts, Dana and Luigi from the Canadian Health and Fitness Institute. And on today's episode of Let's Move Canada, we will talk with Fitsentive's Chief Fitness Officer, Nicole Rakowski, about what inspires her and what being healthy means to her. And before we introduce Nicole, let me start by saying that this podcast is brought to you by the Canadian Health and Fitness Institute, whose mission is to make Canada the fittest nation on earth by 2030. And to this end, our podcast aims to raise awareness about physical and mental health. And so let me get right to introducing Nicole. Nicole is a powerhouse in fitness, health management, and digital innovation. She's also the co-founder of Fitsentive, a groundbreaking fitness app reshaping how people approach their wellness journeys. And as a competitive athlete signed with Pure Vita Labs and a globally recognized fitness expert featured on magazine covers like Strong and Muscle Memory, Nicole has been leading the charge in the world of fitness for over 15 years. But her impact doesn't stop there. Nicole is also an academic trailblazer, currently completing her PhD in health management at McMaster University and working with the renowned Scripps Research Institute to advance digital health solutions. So today, she's here to tell us about her journey from revolutionizing fitness through Fitsentive to influencing public health policies and inspiring healthier communities. Nicole, thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit more about Fitsentive and my story and how that sort of fits in. So thank you again.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Welcome. So our first question for you is tell us what Fincentive is. Where are you based? Where did it start? And yeah, what is the program? Tell us about the program.
Sure. So Fitsentive is completely free fitness app that features full-length, on-demand, at-home style guided workouts that are really led by guaranteed, certified expert trainers. And the best part about it is that Fitsentive's users are actually paid to work out. So users earn different reward points for every single workout that they complete, as well as walking and taking their steps. And they can then exchange their points in app for different amazing gift cards that we have available. So anything from Amazon, Visa prepaid gift cards, Walmart, Sport Check, Uber Eats, and so many more to choose from. So we're always adding to our workout library. And currently we have more than 500 workouts by over 55 different trainers from all around the world. So this is really a nutshell sort of, pitch about what Fitsentive really is. It's beyond incredible. We have so many different users on there, thousands of different users that have just, absolutely flourished when it comes to being healthy, continuing to maintain sort of active lifestyles. And really, it's about meeting that population that, people don't have 2 hours in the day every day to go to the gym to be active. So it's
Mhm.
really about, sort of fitting the lifestyles of current Canadians, being able for them to be active at home wherever they are. If it's they're taking a break from work, if they're, working from home and need some sort of a break throughout the day, Fitcentive is the absolute perfect app that really pays users to work out. So there's no catches to that.
Really, really cool. Quick question. So, not is it so? You mentioned that it's available here in Canada. Is it something that is growing beyond Canada, or is
It's
it?
actually it's everywhere. So it's in many different countries. It's not in every single country in the world, but it's really predominant across North America. So a lot of our users actually from the States. We have many different trainers from the States, but we also have it from many different countries. So we are available on the App Store for Android users and so forth. So people around the world can actually access FitCenter wherever they are. And if there's a country that isn't on the list that someone's trying to join, we do our best to absolutely make it meet for them and to be able to, really tailor where it is that we're going. But we are definitely growing and we are growing quickly.
And when did Fitcentive start?
So it was a few different years ago. And so Fitcentive was originally started by Zach Magerman. So he's the founder and current CEO. And this was really at the beginning of COVID. So And he
Mm.
realized, his wife was spending hours upon hours searching YouTube videos for different great workouts, only to then, not follow through and actually work out to the
Hmm.
video. So he knew that there had to be some sort of better way of providing diverse premium workout content while also motivating people to actually get off the couch and get active, right? So that's really how Fitsentive was born, where fitness is incentivized, right? So
Hmm.
Fitsentive, we're really trying to sort of mirror the two together in terms of really providing that motivational aspect for individuals. Because we know in behavioral psychology and so forth, that really when we have that motivation behind something, and if it's incentivized, people are so far more likely to be able to follow through on different goals that they're setting or different priorities. So, no better way. So, we're really, Zach Megerman is the brains behind a lot of this work that was initially started, and then I came on, but there's also incredible team members as well that have joined since that have really made tremendous leaps and bounds.
Really, really cool. And so, are the trainers are there video classes or are there live trainers that assist people? Like, how does that dynamic work?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, a lot of these videos are pre-recorded, right? So there'll be different categories on the app itself. So let's say someone's interested in yoga, if someone's interested in doing a high intensity class, if it's more cardio based, if it's upper body strength, if it's lower body strength, some individuals want to work on their glute building, right? So there's different categories for different workouts depending on whoever it is that wants to join, right? So if I have a goal of I want to if work on my cardiovascular health, I may be doing a mix of HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, but also maybe some strength building, right? So we have different categories of pre-recorded workouts that are on there. And really it's just we continue to add to it on a daily basis.
Really, really cool.
Man, I
And
could have used this during COVID.
congrats.
That's what a lot of people are saying, right? And but even now, right, how much have our lifestyles changed since COVID, right? We're no longer
Hmm.
as, active and out there as we once were. A lot of people are
Mhm.
working from home. A lot of people have more
Hmm.
sedentary
Hmm.
lifestyles. The pace at which we're going has changed, right? So this is, the perfect opportunity. It's, to join.
Completely, completely agree. And now you mentioned Zach Makerman and how the idea behind Fitsentive came about. Very curious to know how you eventually became involved with Fitsentive yourself.
Yeah, and it's a funny story actually. So this was a couple of years ago, and it was a good friend of mine that was attending a business showcase event at a startup incubator in the Halton region. So, not too far from where I am. And I saw on her Instagram, just sort of scrolling through different stories, that she posted about Fitsentive and tagged Fitsentive on her Instagram story. And really the rest is history, but it was the catch line that really caught my attention. And it was get paid to work out, right? Get
Mhm.
rewarded. And I thought to myself, get paid to work out. Like I work out every single day. What is this about, right? So I clicked on it, read about it on the website, looked through the Instagram stories and videos, and really took a good look at the website. And I thought to myself, like, this is genius. Like, what better way to promote health and healthy active living than to actually get paid to work out, right?
Mhm.
There's many different, I think, apps that were originally created that, get paid to take steps in your daily sort of lifestyle, so forth, but none of them have truly come to fruition, and nothing is as extensive as Fitcentive is out there. So really, we're the only free fitness app on the market that truly pays their users to work out with no catches on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So that's sort of how I became involved in Fitcentive, and Zach and I have become great friends over the years, and really, it's been a tremendous partnership.
Okay.
So you were already into fitness when you joined Fitcentive. So tell us a
Right,
little bit about your background because we know you're in school for fitness for health, right? And
right, yeah, for
so
health
where did you
management.
grow up? Were you active as a child as well?
Massively active, hugely active in the athletic community and in sports. So I grew up in the small town of Dundas, so it's part of Hamilton, Ontario. Now we're sort of out on the outskirts in Ancaster, which is still all relatively very, very close, but nice sort of quaint town with lots of conservation areas. So my entire life, I was extremely active in sports. Soccer was a big one for me. I did competitive wakeboarding, skiing at certain points in time. Track and field was a huge one. When I was in school, it's like every semester, every term, I was in at least one or two sports, competitive sports. So whether it was, being captain of the field hockey team in my later years, to continuing to varsity, playing on volleyball teams, again, track and field soccer were massive ones, lacrosse. I was extremely active constantly, whether it was in school or outside of school. You could catch me on any playing field, in a pool, or whatever it was I was doing. That was really my life.
You
Wow.
said
So
competitive wakeboarding?
yes,
Did you say
yeah,
that? Oh my gosh, that sounds
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Not a lot of people wakeboard, right? So it's you sort of.
No.
I'm
Um,
so curious.
I love trying out new sports.
Well, what
Did
is
you
wake?
say what is that? Oh,
Yeah, wakeboarding. I don't know what wakeboarding is.
So wakeboarding is you're either being pulled behind a boat or you are being pulled by a pulley system,
Oh,
and you're essentially on a board that looks like a
okay.
snowboard, but you're being pulled in the water by something, right? So there's some sort of force that pulls you horizontally across the water. And I mean, you can do stunts, you can do, different wake tricks.
Got it.
But yeah, it's definitely an incredibly fun sport. So you'll have to YouTube some
mhm.
videos on wakeboarding. I'll look at my Instagram for some videos or photos.
No, no, I know what it is. I just didn't know that's what it was called. You know how you see something live and you
Yeah.
just didn't know
Yeah,
what it's called? Yeah, I guess this was one of these moments.
that's fair. That's fair.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more? Can you tell us a little bit more about your personal health and fitness journey? I mean, you've talked about being involved in sports, right? But what does working out look like today, for example? What are some of your goals? What are you trying to do?
Yeah. So, I mean, my, in terms of asking about, my personal health and fitness journey, it has changed significantly over the years. So, growing up, I have a huge competitive side to me. So, that really competitive nature of, love playing team sports, love doing individual sports, anything you sort of throw at me, but I want to give it my all whenever I'm giving it, right? So, very competitive in nature. But I've had a series of sort of detriments that and health challenges that came. So, I've always been this massive self-proclaimed, travel junkie who's visited more than 70 countries to date.
Uh,
Every time I go traveling, I love doing something crazy or extreme, whether it's, skydiving or bungee jumping or whatever you want to call it. But back in 2017, so I had a very life-changing accident where I'm not sure if any of you have heard of it. There's been many podcasts about it. I've given two TED Talks on it. It's been featured in different shows. But so a group of friends and I, we went to Iceland in 2017, and I had a complete fluke accident where I fell into an under geothermal vent and burned most of my
Oh
leg.
my gosh.
Yeah,
What?
so that coupled with, so it was a whole rescue
Oh my
mission in
goodness.
Iceland, yeah, being transported back to Canada, being in the burn unit for several weeks, and then, having to sort of pull myself together over the next several months to be able to walk again.
mhm.
You
But
are,
that was
I
an,
mean, I have to process this a little second. Like that.
I
Okay, so
know, and for me, I've given this story thousands of times, right? I've
I'm
been keynote
sure
speakers
I
around the
need to look
world.
this up.
There's been shows about it. Yeah, if you
Hmm.
Google it, there'll be hundreds of articles that you could find on there. But
And you must have
it
been in ICU for a while. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you these questions even though you've said them a thousand
yeah, that's
times.
okay.
You must have been in ICU or the hospital for a
Critical.
long time.
Yeah, that's right. So critical care. So the way it works at Hamilton Health Sciences, the burn unit and ICU are actually on the same floor, so very conjoined. So a lot of the physicians sort of
Mhm.
oversee both areas. A lot of the nursing staff oversee both areas. So we have a specialized burn unit at the Hamilton General Hospital, which I was very lucky to be a part of because the care there was absolutely exceptional. So really given to the team in terms of my recovery and also the whole emergency team in Iceland, right? That really pushed hard to sort of save my life and get me
Mhm.
sort of transported into surgery, transport me back home where I remained for the rest of my sort of recovery.
So
Wow.
how long was the recovery before you could actually exercise again or be physically
It was
active?
months. It was months. And I had, nerve damage to my feet and lower limbs, also coupled with, severe pain in certain areas, not having proper circulation. If I was walking and for whatever reason I stubbed my toe or I cut my toe on something, I wouldn't necessarily feel it, and then my foot
Mhm.
would be gushing and I wouldn't notice.
Oh,
Like it was
wow.
a strenuous recovery to say the least. Dressing
Right.
changes were extremely painful,
Mhm.
especially when the nerve endings started to grow back. So it was that, but also coupled with, doing competitive sports my entire life that, I did have and suffer numerous concussions. So I
Hmm.
actually have had significant eye issues, if that sort of wasn't enough. And I've had a few retinal detachments in my right eye, so I have partial blindness in my right eye, so I can't fully see out of my right eye just to due to sports and the competitive nature of things that I was immersed in. So I have a lens implanted in my right eye to help me see. But, because of that, I was no longer able to partake in competitive sports going forward. So nothing that, could risk me having any sort of head injury, nothing that could risk having sort of that intracranial pressure that I once, thought I'd always be able to experience. So both of those sort of forced me to have a new outlook when it comes to sports. And I found a massive passion and probably the most passion I've ever been in regards to a sport within bodybuilding. And so that's what
Well,
I've been pursuing over the past 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And I've just
Wow.
grown to love it more than anything that I have in my life in terms of sports or having sort of that passion.
That is wild. That's wow. Thank you so much for sharing that story again. I mean, I can only imagine just the more you share something like that, sometimes it brings up certain feelings. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In
Yeah.
bodybuilding, it's that's I don't think we've had a bodybuilder on the podcast
I don't
before.
think we have actually, no.
That's really cool. So I'm curious to know, and like, what did growing into that sport essentially look like, right? Because I've always thought of bodybuilding as, oh, one day you decide you kind of want to start lifting, and then you can continue to add more and more. But I'm sure it's more than that. So could you tell us about the journey for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, bodybuilding was, so I have a lot of friends that are very active, right? And there was a few guys that I was very friends with, that were very close friends with, still am, that, kind of as I was recovering, saying, why don't you come to the gym with me? And I've gone to the gym here and there. I was very familiar with it, but for me, it was, very much the competitive sports, and I would sort of supplement with weight training.
Mhm.
But it just became an amazing release. And it was the camaraderie of still going with someone, doing something, and it was a little bit more self-paced, right? So a little bit different than, competitive sports where I didn't know what my outcome or my goal was at the time, right? I knew I wanted to stay active. I knew I still needed that sort of stress release, but also wanted to stay active. And day by day, it just grew for me. And I thought to myself, I'm seeing different results that I wasn't expecting. I'm seeing muscle growth in certain areas. I'm meeting new friends that I never thought I would along the way. I'm now listening to their stories of how they got into bodybuilding and what it means to them and their families. So it was a very sort of evolving process as to how I got to love it. And I tell my husband now all the time that I don't know what I would do without it. The people that you work out with every day, the release of just being able to go shut your phone off, shut your mind off from
Hmm.
everything else that's going on in life, and just focus on what it is that you're doing. I've never had that feeling before and that passion for something as I do with bodybuilding, and it's truly a mental mind connection with muscles. So I've it's beyond a passion is what I can explain. Like if, there was one thing that I can't cut out of my life is this.
So I was actually going to bring that up because you talked about like your competitiveness and being
Mhm.
physically active and you're a little bit of an adrenaline junkie maybe in the past,
Right. Yeah,
right? But now that you're in bodybuilding and probably before too, do you find that it's not just about the competition and physical activity, it's also for you maybe a bit of mental health?
absolutely. Right. It's more than just building muscle and achieving a certain physique. It's a journey of self-improvement and discipline.
Wow.
And to me, it's become a sustainable lifestyle, right? So I still weigh my food. I am very particular with what I eat. And at its core, bodybuilding, so bodybuilding is much slower paced than high, active sports, than running. It's a much slower pace, but not necessarily less intensive. It involves vigorous training and rigorous training. And sometimes my workouts are so intense that you pass out at the end when you're getting very close to
Whoa.
competition season. Yeah, so it's people don't understand the technicality of it, how hard you can actually push, the strict nutrition, and it's just a whole commitment to a healthy lifestyle. But beyond the physical aspects, huge mental benefits, right? The self-discipline I always tell people, right, to maintain that consistency in training and dietary habits. Which often then reflects into other areas of life, right? So improving overall time management, work ethic. It's also helped with confidence and it's not necessarily just the physical changes, but the boost in confidence that you know, positively impacts social, professional, and personal aspect of life. There's stress relief, right? Engaging in that physical activity, we all know helps to release endorphins, which are natural mood lifters, right? And that's what we're trying to tell individuals with Fitsentive as well, and those that we partner with, right? How much it can help to reduce stress, anxiety, and even symptoms of depression, just doing it 10 minutes a day. Just 10 minutes a day, right? A lot of people say they can't find the
Mhm.
time. You can find 10 minutes a day to do a
Hmm.
workout.
Right. Right.
But it's the resilience and it's the perseverance as well, right? Overcoming different plateaus, dealing with setbacks, and pushing through the physical discomforts. That's really what helps someone build that mental toughness that can be applied to other life challenges. And then I think lastly, for me, a big thing is community and support. It's
Mhm.
you really find that sense of community in fitness and an outlook. And, especially with Fitsentive, whether it's my life in bodybuilding or whether it's with Fitsentive, there's a huge social support system that can provide that motivation, encouragement, and those emotional benefits that really contribute to overall mental well-being.
That's
Uh,
great. Nicole, are you a competitive bodybuilder? Is that something you compete
yes.
with?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. I think I can catch that. But yeah, you're right. We haven't had a competitive bodybuilder
Yeah.
on yet.
yeah,
Okay,
Don't have-
interesting.
yeah, that I
So,
am.
you briefly mentioned staying strict on diet in nutrition, and very curious to know how Fitsentive, if Fitsentive focuses on diet and nutrition with the programs that it offers, and how it does it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So currently, no. But our 2025 plans are to add a new section to the app on guided meal prep and meal planning. So you'll have to follow us on the app to really stay tuned, taking you through different recipes while making, the delicious items right before your eyes. So we're going to have different areas of focus. For example, we have a large vegan community. Some individuals that truly want, have that protein focus, whether it's for weight loss, excuse me. So we're going to have different areas and different categories, just like we currently do for our app in terms of training, right? Just best suited and best tailored to different audiences of whatever work, best meets your needs, because it's not really a cookie cutter approach to whoever it is that's managing their day-to-day lives, right? So we want to be able to provide holistic options for individuals that work for them. But that being said, we have such incredible experts on board with us. We've got trainers, we've got myself, we've got Zach. So if there's different users that reach out to us personally that have questions about nutrition or diet, I fielded myself. Many in the past, and I get weekly questions about it. We're there to help. We're here to support individuals. So, Fitcentive as holistically as it is within the health and wellness sphere, we're going to be adding a big nutrition component, but that's not to say people can't reach out if they have any questions along the way.
Really, really cool. Um, oh,
That
go
is
ahead.
cool. No, that's amazing. What is there any other goals for the future for Incentive that we should know
Yeah,
about?
I mean, we've got lots, right, in terms of app integrations, in terms of building our user base, different partnership goals, branding goals. But really, it's going to be to follow us is going to be probably the best option to stay tuned with a lot of the great and exciting updates that we have. And just like any other technological innovative app, right, we're going to constantly be building and working to be better, analyzing market trends, right? So we really, really work on data performance and we listen to our users. We listen to feedback that comes in. We listen to what's currently going on in society, what is currently trending, and we work hard to make sure it's, implemented as effectively as possible to meet the current goals of our audiences.
Really, really love that. Now,
Yeah,
before we ask our last question, there was one thing that you mentioned earlier. You brought up the whole concept of community, which, as people can see through our podcast, we really love. We love the concept of people coming together and doing something together. And you
right.
mentioned a few moments ago that uh, you are able to find community through Fitsentive. So curious if you could tell our users what a community looks like on Fitsentive.
Yeah, that's great. So I mean, there's so many different areas I can speak to, but really, for example, we have that community of trainers, right? And Zach and Kelly, Kelly Kahn is another one of our most recent trainers and head of training programs who's been phenomenal. They've been running trainer sort of a group together, right? So what trainers can come together, they can message each other, they can understand the different variations, they can be there as a support system to each other. So we have different groups where and outlets and platforms where individuals can reach out to each other. I think us as a team, we have regular updates, sort of work with different branding partners, understanding what their needs are, partnering together. So that's a massive community. And that's just not across Canada, that's across North America, that's with other individuals, right? So having those global connections, having those inter national connections is massive, right? I also something very interesting that I was thinking about the other day is the sense of community when you go to different shows and when you go to different conferences. The
Mhm.
amount of people that actually come up to us and say, "This is beyond brilliant. How do I get started? How do I join?" For example, we were at the Women's International Show and we were doing push-up challenges and squat hold challenges, right? So how long can you squat for? How many push-ups can you do? And just no else seemed to be have sort of creative competitions at the women's show, but you sort of looked at our booth and the amount of people that would then sort of come and crowd around, would encourage each other without knowing who the other person is, come on, you can do it. That
Mhm.
sense of encouragement that really
Yeah.
doesn't come in a lot of forms, right?
Mhm.
If someone's getting, their makeup done at one of the booths or getting their hair done at the women's show, you don't get that sense of community that comes and says like, yeah, looks great. But with fitness and athletics, you get that sense of encouragement. And it's, you want to see someone else succeed. You want to see someone else succeed to make yourself want to succeed, right? So it's wherever we are, wherever we're going, we think of ways to engage our audiences, whether it's in person, whether it's online through webinars, whether it's doing these sort of, we have live workouts as well, that are led by our different trainers as well. We had one not too long ago, and we'll probably be doing another one in the new year. But the
Mhm.
amount of people that log on, right? We offer them free of charge, and it's just it's incredible. You can have individuals that work out with you, doing it live, individuals that comment in the chat, that everyone's doing the same thing and encouraging each other. So there's so many different ways of sense of community with Fitsentive and what
And this
Fitsentive
is
has
just
to
all
offer.
free.
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
That
my,
And it's
is
not even
crazy.
free. You actually get paid to do it. So
yeah.
it,
Right,
it takes it one step above, right?
right.
Yeah.
Is
It's
there any
crazy.
paid services on the app at all?
Not right now. We're going to be expanding to, different corporations and so forth for individuals that are sort of requesting more. But for the average user, it doesn't cost anything. Nothing at
Wow.
all.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna check it out right
Well,
after this.
Yes, please. Both of you will have to. And for anyone else that's watching it, honestly, Fitcentive, get up and be active for just 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. That's really all it takes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll leave the last question to you, Dana.
All right. So we always finish with this question. What do you think Canada should be focusing on more when it comes to health and fitness?
Oh, it's really And I've had a lot of time to sort of think about, not this question in general, but when I get these questions from other people, and I
Hmm.
always say the same thing is you have to have that mindset. Look at the statistics, look at the facts of what's going on. How many complex chronic conditions are we currently seeing across Canada and why? What are the barriers that are stopping us? We've seen society that's sort of migrated again from fast paced to slower paced during COVID again to fast pace of individuals having, ADHD because they can't focus on more than one thing um, at a time because of the way social media and everything has sort of progressed.
Hmm.
But something that everyone can add into their daily life is again getting up and being active for 10 minutes a day. And
Mhm.
Fitcentive is the free sort of support that helps individuals accomplish this with our short, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes a day. If someone wants to do 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, you can do as much as you want. But we have these guided workouts that are typically 10 to 30 minutes long and that are perfect for at home or on the go. So people are really motivated to work out with our incentive models. And if there's one thing that Canada should focus more on when it comes to health and active is being aware of this platform and that it exists, right? We reward for workouts. We have diverse workout options. We have personalization, right? So you can customize your own fitness journey, which is a huge significant advantage. They can choose workouts that resonate with them, which can lead to more enjoyable and sustainable fitness experiences.
Mhm.
If you tell me you want to lose 10 pounds and I'm only showing you one thing that you hate, it's not personalized.
Mhm.
You want to
Right.
do something that's sustainable and that can show that commitment. But also, it's that increased accountability, right? We often see individuals plateau, drop off, but if you're constantly in a reward system program that
Mhm.
this app features and diverse workout options, this can help users, feel that accountability to their fitness goal. So knowing that they can earn rewards for their efforts can really encourage users to stay committed and consistent. And it's that enhanced motivation, right? So the combination, rewards, variety, personalization that really creates and engages that fitness experience. So really, that's, I would say, the key.
This sounds wonderful. I mean, again, you get rewarded for working out, and you get to stay motivated, right? So I think this sounds like a great message.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for coming here today and for sharing your story, for sharing about Fitsentive, and for really sharing this wonderful message that folks can get active and stay active with something that means the world to them. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much for having me on today.
Of course. And thank you to everyone who tuned into this episode. Of course, we're your hosts, Dana and Luigi. And if you want to learn more about Nicole, please follow her on Instagram at Rakowski Nicole. That is RAKOWSKINICOLE. So her name, last name first, and then first name. Or you can visit the website for Fitsentive, which is just fitsentive.com. That is FITSENTIVE.com. And also, you can check us out on Instagram at Let's Move Canada for the latest updates. And you can also head over to our website at chfi.fit to learn more about our mission. Don't hesitate to DM us if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, or if you have anyone that you want to recommend to us. And that you can also stay tuned for all upcoming updates and episode announcements. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you next time.
Thanks.